Hi, this is Pam Gaither with the Galesburg Area Chamber of Commerce. We are here today talking with Josh Gibb, President and CEO at Galesburg Community Foundation. Welcome, Josh.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we wanted to talk to you. We had some really great news last week roll out that you had some additional funds added to the Rapid Response Fund. And we wanted to talk to you to discuss some of kind of how that works for the community and just some things that the community might want to know about that, how that works for potentially how they could donate to help that effort as well. And, we thought it'd be great to have you on. So thanks for coming.
Yeah, well, thanks for letting me participate from the bunk bed room.
Well, we all have really fun, unique backgrounds, I think. I haven't gotten brave and tried one of those fun Zoom backgrounds that some people have done yet, but maybe to come. So we'll have to see about that.
Sure.
They're kind of fun. So I wanted to start off with, maybe just describe what your role is there at GCF, just quickly, for those that might not know what you represent there, and just a brief overview of GCF as well.
Yeah, sure. So the Community Foundation's a regional foundation. Community foundations are uniquely designed to work with multiple charitable interests, multiple donors, really in an effort to build permanent endowment for the community, for the nonprofits, for the causes that individuals, organizations care about. So the Community Foundation manages permanent endowment, and then that endowment generates resources every year to allow, like I said, individuals, nonprofits, for who are doing good work within the region to fulfill their charitable intents. It's a unique sort of organization because we're really not working for any one cause other than the cause of making sure that philanthropy is alive and well, that it's supporting the health of communities, that resources are going to the places that have the, where they're going to do the most good. So that's really what the Community Foundation is. I've been the President and CEO since 2008. And we have a staff of 5 that are working down at 246. We've got Carly Bowman, who's our Director of Communications, Tiffany Springer, who's our Director of Programs, Sean Hedden, who's our Director of Finance, Lori Shealy, who does all of our administrative work, and then the Community Foundation owns Community Treasures Thrift Shop, and so we have 3 people that work for us down there, Samantha Smith, Rob Parrish, and then Judy Peterson. So we have a great team doing a lot of great work. We have 40-ish or so volunteers that are down there at Community Treasures, really accepting donations and making sales down there, which then go back and support the efforts of the Community Foundation. So we've got a lot of activity, a lot of stuff going on, a lot of great people that make the Community Foundation the organization it is.
Yeah, you guys do so much for the community. I think that it expands beyond just Knox County as well. So I see signs on my travels here and there in some of the, actually I think it's on 150, I've seen a sign for Galesburg Community Foundation. So your reach it goes beyond just Galesburg, but of course you have a lot of support here locally, and we appreciate everything you do for our community. So thank you for what you represent and what you steer the ship for. We are so grateful for that in the Galesburg area.
Thank you.
As far as you're welcome. Thank you for what you and your team do. As far as the Rapid Response Fund, how did that get started? I think it was, I don't want to say it was a secret because I didn't know about it. Of course, not everybody needed to know about these details, but when it was launched, I was so impressed. How did that come together?
Well, sort of early in all of this, it's pretty apparent that we were going to need to have resources that were going to address the consequences of everything that was going to be going on, the need that was going to be generated through, just the slowing down of the economy and people not working and, all of those things. So the Community Foundation quickly took action and started this fund and transferred resources into what we are calling the Rapid Response Fund. and then began to call partners who we thought would join us in that effort. So, we just felt like having one place where resources could really be put together, and then making one place for resources to be drawn from made a lot of sense for the entire region. So after the Community Foundation Executive Committee decided that it wanted to create this fund, we began to reach out to partners that we had worked with in the past, funders who would potentially help us just launch it. And the GL Vitale Foundation, the Toomey Foundation, McLean Family Endowment Fund, which is a donor advised fund at the Community Foundation, and the United Way in Warren County and in Knox County all bound together and launched this with $145,000, which was great. And said, here's the place, here's where organizations who are really serving the emergency need in our communities can go and apply for resources. And then here's also the place that if you're concerned about what's happening and concerned about making sure that you're supporting those that are having the emergency need and serving on the front lines, that you can give. So it's been a very nice fund to get started. We've seen a lot of people who have made gifts from anywhere from $20 all the way up to $10,000. So it's been very warming that our community is coming together in such a way to give. And also we hope created some efficiency that for the nonprofits who have a need can just go here and apply for a grant.
That's fantastic that you have the support when this really just happened weeks ago. That's incredible that you have been able to, gather people to, help fund this and help our community. I think that's incredible, and it speaks volumes to what your organization, the impact you have. It really truly does.
Well, I think it speaks pretty loudly to the, again, the communities and the people who make up our communities. I mean, certainly the Community Foundation also allocated resources towards it, but, individuals care about this community, as you know, and as you have seen time and time again. Our community rallies, our communities rally when there's need like this. And so really, this is really a testament to the people who live here, who work here, who call this place home. And we are certainly glad to be the catalyst or be the place where it can all happen in a really efficient way and get resources out in a really efficient way.
Absolutely. So as far as the Rapid Response Fund, so how does that work? And how does someone inquire about talking to you about potential opportunities with that, how to utilize that? And then do you have an example of someone maybe who has already utilized the services for that fund?
Sure. So right now, both to give and to get a grant from the Rapid Response Fund is located within our website. So anybody who's interested in applying for or has an emergency need that's related to right now COVID-19, they're able to do that. They can go to our website. The application is there, fill it out, and send it back in. There's been a few applications that have been submitted, and later this week we're going to release the first round of grants. And so maybe that can be a follow-up conversation. You can see some of the things that we've been giving to, but it's really been done in partnership with those that helped create the fund to really vet through and know the perspective and know the need and know what's really going on. So you'll see that they're going really to directly on things that you might imagine: food, shelter, financial assistance, really the front lines of need within our community. We're not granting to individuals. That's something that we just really don't have the infrastructure, the ability to be able to do. So we're working with nonprofit partners that have programs like that are set, that are established, and then working with them to give them the resources that they need to conduct the good programs that they have.
It sounds like you are really great about collaborating in the communities. Sure. And that's something that, the chamber, we love to see collaborations and supporting each other, and the Galesburg area, the greater Galesburg area has really seemed to step up in supporting each other. Our nonprofits have connected with area businesses, and I think it's really going to be key in moving forward as everything progresses, that we work together and,
Right.
make sure that we're all, in this together.
I agree.
Yeah. So as far as the timeline of the Rapid Response Fund, how long is that going to be offered? Is there something in place for a deadline, or is this something you're evaluating as time goes on and funds are available?
Well, that's a really good question. So part of the value of the Rapid Response Fund is, it has been created and now it's a permanent part of the community foundation. And so this is a fund that will exist for COVID-19, but will exist in the future because there's going to be other things that are going to be disasters, if you will, in the future. And so this is a fund type, or this fund will exist to be able to last, long beyond right now. Right now, the resources that are coming in, we want to use and we want to use well. We want to make sure are addressing the needs that are coming up from COVID-19, but the fund is going to be there forever. The application process really is going to be also open for when, there is some sort of a community disaster like this. And so as this continues to move on, as organizations and the economy opens itself back up, and you find ourselves back in our offices rather than in our home offices, we know that these funds are going to have to last longer than the shelter in place orders, and longer than sort of the time frame that we're in right now. The recovery is going to happen 6 months from now, 9 months from now. And so having the resources necessary and having the place where people want to give is going to allow us to continue to make grants from this for a while. So there's no hard start or stop on this. This is now something that has become part of what the Community Foundation offers. I think it's also just important to really note that this is not an endowment fund. The Community Foundation talks about endowment so much. I just want to really emphasize the fact that the dollars that are coming in come in and are going to be there to be able to be spent. So none of it is endowed. None of it is a percentage of the value, which is going to nonprofits. This is dollars necessary, and then then moving out into the, like I said, the region and the communities within Knox and Warren County. I also think it's really important that on this funds type that people know that the Community Foundation has no administrative fee to this. This is something that we're just doing for our community. So if a dollar comes in, then there's a dollar that's going to go out, and none of it's really coming to the operations of the Community Foundation, because again, we just want to get dollars out.
Good to know. And I think a lot of people don't understand maybe how some of that works on the backside of an organization as yours. As far as speaking about donations, a dollar in, a dollar out in this case, you're looking for donations from people to help support this probably ongoing, as this is not just a short-term thing that you've rolled out. Describe maybe why donors should give to this specific fund and how they actually would donate.
So, so why someone should give to this fund is if they feel that they want to, that there is a need for it in our community, and they want to give part of their resources to it. I think it's important also just to remember that if you're supporting a nonprofit organization, if you give to them on a regular basis, continue to give to them on a regular basis. That's really important. It's important to shop local. It's important to, rally around the restaurants. It's important to do all of those things. Our small businesses, all of our businesses need our support right now. But if giving to a nonprofit is something that you do regularly, I would encourage you to continue to do that. If you're interested in supporting the Rapid Response Fund because you know that there's additional need in our community, I think that's the type of person who would give. And they can give in a multitude of ways. They can give by sending a check to our office, which is located on Main Street in Galesburg. So they can just mail that in. They can also go to our website and they can use credit card giving if they wanted to do that. If they wanted to give something other then, really those two methods, they can always reach out to our office. We might be working from, the bunk bed room, but we're still getting our phone calls, and we're still getting our emails and things like that. So we can facilitate something larger if that's what people are thinking about. The only thing I would say is if you are giving through the website, through the credit card processing, there is a credit card processing fee that's still coming out, which we just can't get around that. But in terms of administrative fee to the community foundation, that's really what I was referencing. So those would be the main ways to give right now. And again, it has to be something that's passionate to you. That's what we talk about all the time at the community foundation. People give to things that they're passionate about. And so if this is something that you see as a concern, or you see as something that resources need to be allocated to it, please give. And no gift is too big or too small.
Yeah, and I think, to the topic of that point you just made, that the community is very giving. So and I'm sure you feel the same way, but just in this situation that we've been in, it's been really great to see everyone come together. The members in the area, whether they're chamber members from my standpoint, not chamber members, we're working with everyone, and individuals also. Everyone has done a great job to help each other out. One of the things, I guess, that I wasn't sure how this worked, and we'll also link your website in the comment section as well for anyone who might want to look into this a little more, dive into your website further, the donation links on your website. The application process for nonprofits, is it simple? Do they call you or someone in your office, or how does that process work?
Yeah, it's a pretty simple application. Again, the goal of this fund is to get resources to the right places that are serving need within the communities, within the region. So it's a pretty simple application process. And then, it's being reviewed internally, and then grants have been going out. So if anybody has a question, though, they can certainly, once they get the application, then give us a call at the office or shoot us an email, and we'll walk you through that.
Excellent. It actually looks like someone from your organization is putting those links on the comment section right now. So that's incredible. Got a great team working with you there, Josh.
I do have a great team.
Yes,
Thanks, Carly, for doing that.
Yay. Thanks, Carly. That's very helpful. I wanted to mention also, last week, GCF was announced as one of the 30 Illinois nonprofits to receive funding from the first round of the Illinois COVID-19 Response Fund. And was that $100,000? Is that right?
That was an additional $100,000. Yes.
Yes. So how does that help your mission further? I know we've talked about this is going to be an ongoing effort, but receiving a large amount of funds like that for local, sharing, how does that just elevate what you're doing right now?
Well, so first off, it makes our local dollars go all that much further, because the Illinois COVID Relief Fund is also just really coming in alongside those local dollars that we have. And again, just helping more resources to be there for nonprofits now and nonprofits into the future. For those that are listening or watching, the Illinois COVID Relief Fund is an initiative that was set up through the Alliance of Illinois Community Foundations, the United Way of Illinois, and then also the governor's office. And so the governor's sister, Penny Pritzker, who is a former U.S. Commerce Secretary, was really tasked with raising resources that from private philanthropy across the state that then could be spread into the hands and given into the hands of those that are providing direct services in communities all across Illinois. So there's two funds. There's one that's specific just for Chicago, and then there's one that's being allocated across Illinois. And the one that we received a grant from is the one that's going across Illinois. So community foundations and United Ways have been the really the main vehicles that got those grants initially, Pam, to then be able to give to other nonprofits. That's really the way that we're set up, right? So we're working with grantees regularly. The Community Foundation is granting anywhere between 40 and probably 60 nonprofits a year. So we know their work, we know what we're doing, what they're doing, and so we can get dollars into the hands of those that have the most need quickly. And peer organizations like Community Foundations and United Ways are everywhere. So that's really been the main network. I was fortunate to be selected to be on the working group, the granting working group for the Illinois COVID Relief Fund. And so getting able to be a part of that process and talk about needs that are going across, really the entire state, organizations and their work that's happening across the entire state has been a pretty enlightening perspective to gain, and then allowed me to see, okay, well, what's going on in other organizations or peer organizations within our region to make sure that we're addressing all the needs that we need to address. So yeah, it's fantastic. The last I knew, the Illinois Fund had $28 million that they were going to spend, which is probably going to be over a longer time frame. The first round of grants, which Knox County got through the Galesburg Community Foundation, was $100,000. We're going to spend that in Knox and Warren County because we think it's important. And then the second round of grant funding will come out here in a couple of weeks. So that'll be the first 2 rounds, but then they're setting up multiple rounds of this to be able to continue resources just coming out of that 28 million. And people have continued to give to it. So sort of like our rapid response fund, I think it's going to be something that exists for a while and exists to address needs today and also needs that we don't even know exist for tomorrow and beyond.
Yeah, as you know, we don't know really the extent of what help will be needed. And I think that's great that you'll be able to offer assistance for the needs of during COVID-19, and then any other disasters or situations that come up. Let's hope that doesn't happen, but if it does, you're prepared. And I think that's been a lot of the conversations that I've had with businesses is, really nobody was really prepared for this. So having the funds available for this case and anything going forward, I think is an amazing opportunity for our communities. I wanted to ask you about one of the things the Chamber's really been focused on is showing how our community has rallied together in the greater Galesburg area. Do you have any specific stories or a story in particular that you'd like to share? I know you deal with so many really giving people and people that want to help and be there for the communities that we serve. Any story in particular you could share with us?
A story in particular is probably the problem, Pam. I mean, there's lots of stories. I think the way in which this fund was really created is a great story. It just shows trust and collaboration and partnership that exist, that we all want to work together and make sure that the organizations and individuals have what they need. So I really appreciate all the partners that helped us launch the Rapid Response Fund, and just can't thank them enough for trusting and wanting to work with the Community Foundation. Some of the partnerships and things like that have happened. You see just little bits. There's a lady locally that's making masks, which I think is great because people just want to do something, and it's helpful and it makes a difference. So I think that's been good. There's been a lot of collaboration around food. And making sure that kids and adults are being fed. So the United Way and the VNA and the YMCA have done a lot of work around making sure that people are being fed right now. So much so that I would almost wager that we're doing more in terms of feeding people than we've ever done. And I think it's been great. I've loved to see those collaborations. And those programs and organizations really working together. So that's been very, very warming, heartening for me. I also, and again, I couldn't not talk about Galesburg Lions Club when given an opportunity, but they've really stepped up and they've cared for, their own members, making sure that their own members are in place and have what they need, and picking up groceries and doing deliveries and stuff like that. They've also been United Way's hands and feet to move food from one program to another program. They're doing deliveries for VNA. They're certainly being thoughtful and cautious and safe with their own health, but at the same time, they know that there's need in the community, and so they want to get out and they want to be helpful. So I think that that's been great. The teachers who are volunteering for the food program has been, great when they were doing all of that. The unified command that exists. I mean, you've got collaboration happening from the school district, from the college, from the city, from the health department. It's honestly, I think that when things like this happen, that's when you see the nature of the way people are. And if that is true, the nature of this community is sharing and giving and collaborative and able to partner. I hope that those things only move forward. There's going to be stuff we don't want to remember about COVID-19, and there's going to be stuff that we do want to remember. And the stuff we do want to remember is how we rallied around missions, how we worked together, how we found solutions to problems that existed before, didn't exist until COVID-19 came up. But again, we just rallied and we moved forward. And those are the types of things that we want to remember. So I think there's been lots and lots and lots of great stories. And again, this is just a part of the country that I am proud to be from, and a part of the country I'm glad and proud that I'm raising my family in, and thankful for all of our communities and all of the people that are working so hard, keeping us safe and healthy right now. So.
Yeah, I agree. I'm proud to be here too. And I think it makes the Galesburg area really a special place. It feels like to me, I know there's other communities that are amazing as well, but when you're really invested in what happens here, I think you really want to see positive things. And in a case like this, you and I and hundreds and thousands of people are invested in making sure that everyone is able to recover from the situation.
Yeah, well, I mean, think of all the nurses and healthcare workers and the businesses that have been taking them lunch and flowers and just like little mementos. I mean, it seems like every day there's something to remind us of, again, the humanity and sort of the that we're all in this together. Again, it's certainly reminded me of why what we do at the Community Foundation is important, and that we just need to keep doing more and more and more of it.
And it'd be great if we could just continue it once everything is back to normal again. I think that it's one of those things that we all feel really good to see the support, and moving forward, it would be amazing to just kind of always continue that generous giving nature. And I can't agree with you more as far as all of the collaborations. That's the thing that we really enjoy seeing, and we have talked to businesses about working on collaborating to create a new way to showcase something. The nonprofits the same way, that they can connect together. So it would be great to see that going forward to continue. I wanted to go over just a reminder again, how somebody does apply for the Rapid Response Fund. How do they apply? What steps do they take? Just a recap really quick again.
Go to our website, go to our website, go to our website. The application's on our website. It's really, really simple. If a nonprofit is providing an emergency need right now, please go to the website. And primarily, that's around food and shelter and financial assistance, supports for vulnerable populations, things like that. You'll see those things listed there, but the application is very simple. Go to the website. If you have questions, send us an email. Tiffany Springer is our director of programs, and so she's really become sort of the nexus of what's been happening in terms of how nonprofits are addressing need in the region. So you know, we'll take a look at that. We'll see if it fits. We'll see if we can maybe even do some problem solving. Some of the things that we have seen so far, we've been able to do problem solving just by doing good connection of, oh, did you know that this organization was doing that? So that's how you can apply. If you're interested in giving, go to the website. That's where the link for the giving portal is. And also you can find the physical address of the community foundation if you want to mail a check. And as I said, if you wanted to talk about something other than that, you can certainly call the office, and I get voicemails, and we can connect that way too.
Well, Josh, speaking on behalf of the chamber, we want to say we appreciate what you and your team are doing, and furthermore, what your donors are providing and bringing to all of our community, and what that impact means. So we want to say thank you to all of your donors as well as your entire staff. You guys are a really great group of people to work with, and I'm glad to work with you myself personally. So,
well, ditto to that, Pam. You know, certainly partnership and collaboration happens between our organizations, and the way that, you know, the Community Foundation and the Chamber and Forefront have worked together to provide the nonprofit network and resources for nonprofits. So we really do believe that working together gets us further along. And so thank you for being a really good partner. Thank you for taking up time today to talk about what Rapid Response Fund is doing, and for again, again, being that partner that helps spread the message and information about what's going on in town.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for coming on too. So with that, sure. I think we're wrapped up, unless there's anything else that you can think of, but I think we've covered it really well. You've explained it very well. And if anybody has any questions, sounds like the best way is to go to your website. So
yeah, for sure.
For
sure. Just reach out. Thank you. Yeah, happy to do this anytime. It makes sense for you and or the chamber, but thanks for the opportunity. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, it was really great having you on, Josh. Nice to see you.
Good to see you.
All take care. Thanks a lot, Josh, and your team doing a good job. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great afternoon. See you.
Yeah, you too. Bye-bye.